It's the National Football League on EA Sports, and today's clash of conferences is just moments away. It's the Buccaneers and the Bengals coming up next.
Evan McPherson about ready to get this going as we are underway now from Paul Brown Stadium. Fielded just outside the goal line. And good coverage there on special teams as they'll get him down shy of the 20. First try on offense for the Bucs and their veteran quarterback, Tom Brady.
Well, we've all seen what Tom Brady can do on a football field for a couple of decades now. But how about his most impressive accomplishment? Moving to a different franchise and taking them to a Super Bowl title as well. Not many players can continually stiff-arm Father Time the way that he has.
So here's a 1st and 10 now, down inside the 20. Now a first carry for Giovanni Bernard. Only a couple for him there on the game's first play, and it's 2nd down.
Defensively, we always know that he is tough in run support, and I think the way that he gets there is he understands what an offense is going to do before the ball's even snapped. A great job of scouting prior to the game, then reading, reacting, and taking the right path to the ball carrier.
A first carry for Leonard Fournette, and he'll get about 6 up to the 27-yard line.
I think we can safely say that those types of plays are the backbone of this offense. We know not every run's going to be a big hitter, but you know they'll take that type of result on each and every attempt.
An early test, 2 plays in. This is 3rd and 2. Now Brady. Yeah, that one's going to be knocked away and incomplete.
Well, they've got man coverage on the outside, and my scouting report on these DBs tells me that they love to take matters in their own hands. They want man coverage, not zone. And there was good coverage there that forced the incompletion.
So on now is the Clemson man, Bradley Pinion, to punt this one away. A 41-yard punt there with no return. And the Bengals will take over here 1st and 10. Here come the Bengals, and CD, of course, it's Joe Burrow out of LSU at quarterback.
Hey, we all love a good story, and what we like even more, guys who can fight through adversity. Joe Burrow coming out of high school, goes to Ohio State, doesn't get a chance to start, transfers to LSU, not thought to be a top prospect, ends up the #1 pick in the draft, and justifies it. Tremendous play, excellent mobility, and leadership off the charts.
Burrow and the Bengals with a 1st and 10, just shy of the 30. The former 2nd-round pick, this is Joe Mixon. He pushes through a would-be tackler to get about 3 yards, 2nd down.
Well, that's just a pile of bodies there, and that's when you kind of find out who's a tough guy, right? Who can stand up and make a play. It was only a 3-yard run, but for both sides, they had to walk away from that feeling like, okay, I can stand up when the going gets tough in here.
On 2nd and 7, Burrow. Oh, the Buccaneer pressure too much. Down he goes. Shaquille Barrett put that sack by his name in the stat sheet. Well, he shot in, CD, like he was out of a cannon from that linebacker position. And even though they had a running back in the backfield, no one could stop him.
Well, you certainly diagnosed that play perfectly because as fast as he got into the backfield, you're exactly right. The running back had no shot to get over and try and protect his quarterback, and a sack resulted.
So that'll leave Burrow and the Bengals with a 3rd and long after that sack we just saw. Looking to throw. He's going to sling this deep downfield. And he's got it. What a catch on the sideline. A big connection on that one. 34 yards.
A very early momentum changer there. Actually a dream killer for the defense because they forced a 3rd down. Felt like they had a good chance to get off the field defensively, and then they got hit with that big play.
So the big play gets him across midfield now for 1st and 10. Now it's Burrow. And the catch made. It's Tyler Boyd. He'll be stopped at the 35, but not before he picks up 7 yards.
I know many people like to throw to the tight end, maybe in a little flexed out position because he creates mismatches with his size. But slot receivers do the same thing with their quickness, their speed, and their route running savvy.
Working with a 2nd and 3. Now it's Burrow. That's caught by his tight end, Uzomah.
And the tight end is certainly a position built to move the chains because they can control space underneath. If they've got good hands, then, of course, they're a dynamic target. But one other thing is they're right in the sight lines of a quarterback on just about every play, and that makes it easier for the quarterback to pick him out and deliver.
Burrow going to fake to mix it and now look to throw. That's going to be caught. Touchdown, Bengals. T. Higgins, 29 yards. And the Bengals are going to take a first-quarter lead. Well, you got to like that start on both sides of the football. You force the 3 and out, and then you score on your first drive.
Well, I know someone who doesn't like that start.
Well, yeah, the other side.
Yeah, they don't like that at all, right? This is not the way it's supposed to be. But what you just described, that's team football, all right? When you get a 3 and out, you're supposed to take advantage of it on the offensive side of the ball. You said, thank you very much for getting us the rock. Let's put it in the end zone, and they did exactly that.
Extra point by McPherson, up and good. And it's now a 7-0 game. So after the made field goal, here's McPherson to send this one away. Taken in at the 3. And he'll get it up just past the 20 as his guys will go to work at the 21-yard line. Tampa Bay, they're getting ready to set up shop here for their second drive. And the last drive, the first drive for them, not very good. 3 and out. What do they go to here?
Well, you don't look down at your play sheet and say, this is what the problem is. Now let's find out who my playmakers are. Get the ball in their hands, and maybe the offense will move a little bit better.
Sometimes it's more important to get it to the right people rather than dialing up the right number.
Exactly.
Or the right play, yeah.
That too.
Brady and the Bucs now with a 1st and 10 at their own 21. He'll begin with a give to Fournette to start the drive. It was Jordan Evans making the play defensively.
I know the scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker. What that means is his ability to read, react, and make a play. But on that one, he looked like one of those guys.
On 2nd and 9, Brady. He completes it to Evans. And he's going to have just a couple here with a marker on the field as well. That's on the guard, Alex Kappa. Now they face a 2nd and long following the holding penalty. Now Brady. Getting it out wide here to Bernard. And a short 3-yard pickup gets him up to the 15.
Well, offensively, that's the mismatch that you want. You want to force a linebacker to try and cover your back out of the backfield, out in some open space. But linebackers nowadays, they run like backs, and they take a lot of pride in covering. What a nice play he made there in the open field.
He drops it off for Bernard. And he'll have this past the 30 prior to going out of bounds.
We can talk all we want about football being a game of strength and brawn. It's also a game of mismatches, and they're trying to create one there, getting it to their back out of the backfield to make a bigger play.
As we often say, get it to him in space, let him use his leg.
Yeah, if he can get a matchup against a linebacker or maybe a defensive end dropping out in a zone blitz, he's going to win that battle just about every time.
So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. On the draw, this is Fournette. Breaks a tackle. 5 yards is the tally on 1st down. That brings up 2nd and 5.
Nice satisfying run on 1st down for the offense, picking up 5, which means defensively, the thought process is entirely different. You don't want to panic, but at the same time, you're saying to each other, we've got to tighten this down. We can't give up gains like that.
From the 38, Brady. It's caught by Mike Evans. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. After 7-0 on EA Sports. Second quarter now, and it's Buccaneer football as they've got it with a 1st and 10. Now a carry for Bernard. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd down. You don't see that a ton, do you? Or the cornerback coming over to the middle of the field to make a run tackle.
That's someone with a ton of confidence to feel like nothing is pressuring him on his side of the field. Sees that the ball is moved to the middle and just sprints over there to help out. He ends up getting the tackle. Well played.
That catch good for only a yard, and it'll be 3rd down.
That was an okay hook up there with his tight end, but unfortunately, they didn't get the kind of yards they had hoped for. That's going to bring up 3rd down.
Now play number 7 of this drive, but it's a tough 3rd and 9. Now Brady. And he'll be taken down by the Bengal pressure. Trey Hendrickson gets in there to drop him for a loss of 13 yards, and it's also 4th down now.
There's a little bit of defense right there. Nickel set, 5 defensive backs. They just snuffed out every route that was going. Quarterback never got rid of the football.
Here's Bradley Pinion now as he's on to punt for Tampa Bay. Fair catch called for and made right at the 25-yard line. Just 34 yards on the punt there, no return. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. Joe Burrow trots out again with the rest of his offense. He's played a pretty clean first half, a touchdown, no interceptions.
Frankly, that's what they expect out of him. They want to see the ball thrown and thrown well, and he's able to do that and put it in the end zone. They'd love to see more of that before this game finishes, but right now, he's got his team in a good spot.
A good spot, maybe looking for touchdown pass number 2 here in the second quarter. First down, here's Burrow. That is caught. It's Uzomah. And down he goes, but he takes it up to the 40.
And that was good protection there. No, that was great protection there because it allowed him to lock in on his receiver. Although I think he was looking for his tight end on the corner route all the way. Nice connection there for a really nice gain.
So quickly all the way up at the 40-yard line. Here's Burrow. And that's going to be caught. T. Higgins. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35.
Not only have they completed a couple on this drive, but they peeled off some pretty good chunks of yardage, too.
Absolutely. Great start. 2 nice plays in the pass game. Now can they continue to feed off that? So from Buccaneer territory now, it's 1st and 10 at the 36.
Burrow going to give this to Mixon.
And this time they were waiting for him as he'll be knocked down before he can get back to the line of scrimmage. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11.
It's a tough one right there. He ran right into the teeth of the blitz as the linebacker was freed up in order to stuff that one for a loss. I think quarterbacks got to see that. Got to find a way to audible into something a little more advantageous.
2nd and 11.
They're passing here, Joe Burrow. And a big loss here as he's taken down. The 305-pound Ndamukong Suh finding the path to the QB there.
Enough takes a start to have a good drive. Quite like a big loss on a sack, does it?
Now they're looking at a 3rd and long, and suddenly the momentum shifted to the other side of the football.
And old Mo is a very, very fickle man.
So that'll leave Burrow and the Bengals with a 3rd and long after that sack we just saw.
He'll drop to throw. Under pressure, and they got to him again. Shaquille Barrett able to get in there for his 2nd sack of the afternoon.
So, Charles, no turnovers yet for this offense, but those sacks now, they're starting to pile up.
And one thing usually leads to another because they've got to figure out how the offensive line and everyone else involved in protection can keep their quarterback upright and allow him a chance to throw the ball downfield.
So on 4th down, on comes the left-footed punter, Kevin Huber, to punt it away. $1:57 to go in this first half on EA Sports. Coming up at halftime in a little less than 2 minutes, we'll send you to Orlando where Jonathan Coachman is standing by. He'll have highlights and analysis of this first half.
Brady's throw complete there to Johnson.
They'll contain him to just 4. 2nd down. Clock running. The Bucs try to go quickly and get set. To throw again on 2nd down. Brady.
He'll drop this off for Bernard.
And he gets this up just shy of the 30 to the 29 before he's out of bounds. Now after the completion, we're going to get a timeout, an injured player. While the trainers take a look, we'll step aside. Throwing on 1st down is Brady. Evans has it left side. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line.
Well, this is where reading defenses and practice time comes into play. Got to know what you're running versus zone versus man and how to run the proper route. And they just executed that one pretty well.
1st down now, but that clock rolling. Now Brady doesn't like the formation here. He'll take a timeout as they'll stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime. Brady to throw again. Looking for Godwin, and he's got him complete. And he'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds.
Well, they brought the pressure, and that meant man coverage behind him, so he's still able to complete the pass.
Even as he took the hit, and that's what you have to do, because I was just talking with a coach the other day, and he said, look, it's not always going to be pretty back there. You're going to have to give me completions. Even when you're taking some hits, sometimes you have to be your own blitz control, for lack of a better term. Got to make completions, step up, and make those throws, and he did that.
So give him 5 yards there on the pitch and catch, and it's a second down.
Now that's the type of play that gives you a chance to win. Nothing forced downfield where you don't have a guy open. Swing it out to the back, on maybe even check it down, whatever you want to call it. Gain of 5. You're just trying to get 4 on first down. They're ahead of the chains now.
Throwing again on second down. Brady. And a first hookup with his all-pro tight end, Rob Gronkowski. And down to the 20 he'll go before heading out of bounds.
Good job there of getting his tight end involved, because he lines up on the right side of the formation, just works his way across the field. I really like how they were in sync on that one. He spotted the open gap in the zone, and his quarterback found him, and they get a first down.
First time into the red zone for the Buccaneers. 1st and 10 right at the 20. Again, it's Brady. And this is caught by Evans. The Bucs going to go ahead and use the second of their timeouts, as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half. Working with his 2nd and 4. To throw, it's Brady. To the end zone, but it's incomplete. So that one will be accepted. Here's the 7th play of this drive. This is 3rd and 4. Again, they'll throw with Brady. And he's going to go down. He's sacked back at the 24. Now the Bengals going to use the first of their timeouts as they get it right at the 30-second mark of this first half. So Brady departs, and on is Ryan Succop for the Buccaneer field goal. From the right hash, it's a 41-yard attempt. And Succop will put this one right through, and they are on the board, but still trailing. It's 7-3. So they do get 3 points, but that's now 3 drives with only the 3 points, not a ratio that's going to win you many ball games.
Not at all, Brandon. And think about it this way. We all know payoff is the key, right? And wouldn't we love to have the concession on every T-shirt that's been printed in football that says finish on it? Because that's the mantra everywhere. Got to be able to finish drives, put points on the board.
The punter Pinion now to kick this one away. Brandon Wilson to return it. And taken down just past the 20 at about the 21-yard line. Here again comes Joe Burrow and the offense for the Bengals. What can they do now, Charles, to make sure this highlight montage doesn't continue to show more pressure and pressure and pressure?
You feel like it always comes back to leverage, don't you? Who is going to win that battle of the offensive and defensive lines? Low man wins. We talk about that, but we think about it in a running game. Well, guess what? The same thing happens when you're trying to pass protect. Are you low? Are you balanced? Are you in a position where the pass rush won't bowl you over on their way back to the quarterback? They've got to reestablish that in order to try and keep their man upright.
Because they have been bowled over a lot so far in this one. The Cincy offense about ready to go here on their next drive. And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
A deep ball down that right sideline, and he made sure that he put it where either his guy was going to catch it or no one was.
Here's 2nd and 10. Not wanting to take a chance this time. They'll keep it on the ground. 5 yards. Now it's 3rd and 5. So we've reached halftime here in the Queen City, and it's the Bengals leading this one. As we'll send you down to Orlando, and we check in with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
All right, Brandon, thanks very much. Welcome, everybody, to our abbreviated version of the EA Sports Halftime Report. First up, though, let's take a look at the next-gen stats from the first half for the Bucs. And they did not do much at all in terms of throwing the football in those first 2 quarters. That's going to need to improve if they want to erase this deficit. Meanwhile, for the Bengals, we check out their numbers on the ground as they'll try to keep the momentum going into the second half.
Okay, Coach, thanks as always. This one's still anyone's game as we welcome you back for quarter number 3. The Bengals set to receive. They have the lead and the football to begin quarter number 3. The return man, Wilson. And makes it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. The Bengal offense ready to go here to start the 3rd quarter. Their defense has done the job. Now it's the offense's turn as they've got it 1st and 10. Mixon will get it to start the second half. And he's taken down but able to slip across the 35. Now after the running play, we've got a man down on the field. While the training staff takes a peek, we'll take a break. We couldn't ask for much more to this point in the second half. A gorgeous day, 1-score game, 1st and 10 here. Burrow's throw here into the hands of Boyd. And he'll be stopped right at midfield. And a good quarterback facing zone coverage. If he has just a little bit of time to survey the scene, that's what's going to happen.
No doubt about it. If there's no pressure, he's going to continue to pick them apart because he'll have all that time to find someone open downfield. You can only cover for so long. So maybe they want to go to a zone blitz scheme, get a little bit more pressure. Remember when Carolina did that against Denver? They lost the game ultimately. They dropped the defensive end out, and he ended up with an interception in that game in Super Bowl 50.
And this is caught right along the sideline. What a job of keeping the toes in bounds there. A big play that time through the air. 33 yards. I guess that answers the question of whether or not they're going to try to play conservative and protect this lead in the 3rd quarter.
And I think this is something we're seeing more and more of in the NFL. Teams not playing to protect leads, teams playing to extend them.
So the big play means just like that, they'll operate from the red zone now on 1st down. Burrow will throw. And this is incomplete. Right now, the story of this game continuing to be the defenses because the offenses, they're finding it difficult to establish any rhythm whatsoever.
I like how you come to us in praise of defense, Brandon, because that's exactly right. That was an incompletion force there, but we've seen it throughout this game. Both of these defense coordinators, they're a step ahead of their offensive counterparts.
On second down, here's Mixon. And they'll bring him down at the 13-yard line. 4 yards the gain, and it'll bring up a third down.
Well, they're hoping that the second half is better for him than the first half. They've got to find a way to get him going. He's a big part of their offense.
On third down, Burrow. Now Burrow loses the football. We talk a lot about setting the tone to start the game. Well, you want to start the tone right in the third quarter as well, and nearly lost a football there in their first drive.
And sometimes we overdo it when we talk about halftime adjustments and what teams are going to do. Most of the time, it's just a matter of executing the game plan you brought in. But I'll guarantee you, they didn't draw that play up on the whiteboard at halftime. They're fortunate to retain possession.
McPherson's kick is good. And they push the lead up to a touchdown now at 10-3. Well, looking at it from a defensive perspective, that keeps the deficit very, very manageable. All things considered, not a bad job on the defensive side.
I would say that you've pointed out something pretty good right there, and that is you actually have both sides happy with that exchange. You know, happy in quotes, of course. One team, hey, we've kept it within range. The other side saying, hey, we put points on the board and did stretch out the lead. Let's see how this one turns out.
Yeah, still bottom line, though, 3 points for the opening drive of the third quarter. Here's McPherson now to send it away. And no effort to bring this one out. It's a touchback. Here comes the Buccaneers offense. They get their first reps of the second half. And their deficit a little wider now than it was at halftime following the field goal a moment ago.
But the goal is still the same because you know they want to come out, establish a rhythm in the second half, and get going. Make no mistake about it, though. Kicking field goals, not in their game plan. They need to get the ball in the end zone.
Brady going to bring the Bucs up with a 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. They'll start out on the ground. It's Leonard Fournette, and he'll take this ahead for about 4. Second down coming up. You know, despite the scoreline, I think they've got to like where they are here. They're on the road and just one big play away from getting right back in this game.
I'm going to follow right along with you because the spot they're in now is a credit to their defense. They've kept them in it by making the plays that they've made, and that just means you're one big score away from being right back there.
Now the question is, can this offense step up and make that play? Because that's been an issue for them in this game. And he takes us up to the 40-yard line before being corralled.
Well, they obviously red man covers their partner, and he got downfield, broke down the defender, made him
What do you mean by that?
Yeah, he made him think he was going to run a different route. Probably thought he was going to take it upfield. Then he curls back inside for the completion.
Fournette, a first down carry. Nifty move. A gain of 3, second down.
Give credit to the defense for stringing that play out, and they gave up no cutback angle. You know he was trying to dart through. No place for him to go. A nice job there, only giving up a 3-yard gain.
The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7. Here's Brady. It's complete. He's got Gronk. Only 3 yards on the catch. It's 3rd down. He's been quiet today in the passing game, just his 2nd catch.
Yeah, and people have to come up with schemes to limit him. And what a lot of teams do, they'll double him, you know, use a linebacker underneath, a safety over the top. Sometimes they'll just take a corner, maybe their 3rd corner if he's a bigger guy, and put him on a man-to-man to try and limit his touches. Just keep mixing it up, give him different angles, different looks, like a good boxer does.
Brady's throw on 3rd down there is incomplete.
incomplete.
They went with the dime look that time on defense, just flooded the field with defensive backs, blanketed everyone, took away all the passing angles, thus the incompletion.
Here's Bradley Pinion now as he's on to punt for Tampa Bay. He'll get off a fairly short kick here as this is toward the sideline. And this will be up to the ruling of the side judge here. He says it crossed out of bounds at the 16-yard line. Joe Burrow and the Bengals set to go back on offense. How do you break down his game so far? Just the one touchdown pass, but sometimes the touchdown pass stat category, that doesn't tell the whole story.
It really doesn't, not until you balance it with the error side, and in this case, he hasn't thrown any interceptions. So a lot of people would call this almost a pedestrian game, kind of a bus driver game. But that's just really wrong. Being a bus driver is a good thing if you're running a football team, because that means you're in control and you're taking your team to the right places.
Yeah, he's been pretty solid. And now the drive starts with a completion out to the right. And he'll get this up past the 25 before he's out of bounds. Give him 9 there on the first down completion.
And Brandon, as you know, sometimes it's a lot tougher to run with these tight ends nowadays in the NFL. They're just bigger wide receivers. He lined up on the left side of the formation, ran a drag route across the field, and tried to work his way open. He was able to make the catch, but the defenders were there. Couldn't do a whole lot with it afterwards.
And they're able to get this one across the 35. 40 yards on the ground for him so far.
Sometimes it's hard to believe, but there are times this game is about patience, isn't it? Has had the game he expected, but that run there, that may get him going.
I was just going to say, maybe that gives him a little juice, because you're right, he struggled, especially in that first half.
Yeah, and I know the great ones always think to themselves, just hang in there. I'm just one big carry away from busting this open. That's a good start for him.
Back-to-back good plays have him on the move on first down. Burrow looking to pass. And that's incomplete.
Well, listen, when you've got the lead, there's absolutely no sense trying to fit a ball in where you shouldn't. You can see the coaching in his head taking place on that play, because he saw he had a receiver in the area, and he just put it well over his head out of harm's way.
Third quarter of a tight football game as we come up on a 2nd and 10. Now Burrow. He'll drop this one down to Mixon. 4 yards the gain, and it'll bring up a 3rd down. Now it's Burrow. And that is incomplete. Just a little beyond the reach there of his receiver. That's probably one he wishes he had back.
He wishes it had been 7-on-7 in practice, or maybe even routes versus air, because that's a completion he makes, 9.9 times out of 10? Just missed that one.
Here's Kevin Huber now as he's on to punt for Cincinnati. Oh, and what a play on special teams here. This is going to be down inside the 5, all the way down at the 2-yard line.
And he's got to be fired up about that effort. I don't think he could have walked down and placed it any better than where he ended up putting the football. That was excellent.
The Bucs offense set to begin their next possession. And they will begin with, should we call it, far from ideal starting field position, their own 2-yard line.
So what's your definition of ideal?
The 1-yard line on the other side of the field.
Yes, exactly right. So yes, your definition is apropos in this case.
So many times when we talk about coverage, we're just about a defender running with a receiver, but a big part of it is understanding where the football is, finding it. In this case, when it arrived, it wasn't a surprise, and he was able to bat it away.
On 2nd down, here's Fournette, and he'll go down, and that will do it for the 3rd quarter of action. So they'll get a little extra time to come up with his 3rd down play as we played 3 quarters. You are watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now in Cincinnati.
It's Buccaneer football, but they've got work to do. They find themselves behind here to start the fourth quarter. The Bucs on third down. Just 1 for 5 to this point. This will be 3rd and 6. Brady going to throw. Throw left side complete. That's Evans. And he is going to have a Bucs first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
I like the design that we're seeing right there. This is what they need. Down by a touchdown here in the 4th. They just need to keep working their way downfield. And when they see openings, take their shots.
A few better down a score in the 4th quarter than Tom Brady. This is 1st and 10. Throwing now is Brady. And that one off the mark behind him. Incomplete. He was looking for Chris Godwin that time. And that'll bring up 2nd down. Looked like he had a couple of different options as far as who to throw to on that play. And who am I to say this, but I'm not sure he made the right decision.
Well, the window of opportunity is always going to be small in the NFL. That's why those quarterbacks who make quick decisions and have quick releases have the most success in this league.
To throw again on 2nd down, Brady. And he's taken down. Back at his own 7. Trey Hendrickson picks up his 2nd sack of the afternoon. He seemed to have a reasonable amount of time in the pocket, but he couldn't get rid of the football, and the end result, Charles, him on the ground.
Yeah, he's got to keep an internal clock to go along with his offensive line. When you're talking about 3, 4, 5 seconds, that's a reasonable amount of time to expect to deliver the ball downfield. So great to try and complete a pass, but it's equally important to know when to throw the football away, too.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And this pass broken up. Excellent coverage there on 3rd down, as that was not an easy one to hold on to.
This has certainly been a physical game so far. Limited scoring opportunities for both sides. And there's another chance that goes unfulfilled.
Here's Bradley Pinion now, as he'll punt it away for the 4th time today. It's a 42-yard punt. They keep him to just a yard on the return. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. Joe Burrow trots out again with the rest of his offense. And the passing game, I mean, look at the numbers. It's fallen off. When a team is struggling, sometimes you look at the quarterback. When the quarterback starts to struggle, who goes over and picks him up?
Yeah, that's always a big one, isn't it? Usually, there's a quarterback whisperer somewhere. And what I mean by that is, whether it's an assistant coach, whether it's one of his best friends on the team, someone that can get in his ear, get with him and say, all right, my man, what do you need? What's going on here? So he's one person he can lean on. He's going to have to lean on that guy right now.
Throwing on 1st down, but this one winds up to be incomplete.
And I can see the officials kind of looking at each other down there, silently wondering, does this meet the level of grounding? Fortunately, he did have a receiver in the area, but I have seen less obvious throwaways called as penalties.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. From the shotgun, Joe Burrow. Buying time. Now Burrow loses the football. And this is going to get out of bounds, so they will gain a bit of yardage on the play, actually, and they'll hold on to the football as well. 2nd time he's fumbled in this game. Fortunate for him, this one goes out of bounds.
And the key for him now is how much equity have you built up with your coaching staff? How much equity have you built up with your team to continue to get opportunities? Fortunate that one went out of bounds, saved him from a turnover.
And the Bengals on 3rd down. They've only converted once in 4 tries. This is 3rd and 8. From midfield now, Burrow. He finds his running back, Mixon. And he's able to take it across midfield before going out of bounds. He did his best to just get 4 out of that, but not enough. And now 4th down. Here's Kevin Huber now as he's on to punt for Cincinnati. Averaging over 50 yards a punt so far as this one's away. And this will carry out of bounds. Where are they going to spot it now? At about the 18-yard line, it looks like. Now the Buccaneers offense gets ready to head back onto the field. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
Well, you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
A few better down a score in the fourth quarter than Tom Brady. This is 1st and 10. Here's Brady to throw. And that is incomplete. Oh, the coverage a little too good there, and it's 2nd down.
My first thought is surprise because that's one of the better tight ends around, and I've seen him pull in balls like this before. But how about a little credit to the defense forcing that incompletion?
So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10. Now Brady. He drops it off for Bernard. They do get a couple, but they'll be left staring at a 3rd and 8 coming up. They should have gotten more out of that, though. He was wide open.
I love how emphatic you are with that call because that's exactly what I was thinking. Wide open in the flat. Give him a ball that he can use to get upfield with, not just catch and go over the sideline. They cost themselves some yardage there.
The Bucs on 3rd down, lacking much success, just 2 for 7 to this point. This is 3rd and 8. To throw is Brady. And a throw there going to be incomplete. Not sure what happened out there, but it looked like the timing was a little off on that throw.
Well, you know I'm a defender, so what am I going to say?
Great defense.
Darn right. They did something to disrupt that timing.
Here's Bradley Pinion now, as he's on for the 5th time here today. And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. Ooh, with a juke.
What was that, Russ?
Burrow going to lead up the Bengals here, 1st and 10 at their own 27. He'll hand it off here. This is Mixon. Oh, he bowls over him. And they'll wind up getting this to the 37. Gain of 9. And when do they start thinking about burning these timeouts? They've got all 3 still defensively.
To me, you have to start right now. Here's the time, and that means you've got to stop them on defense, not give up the yardage, use your timeouts in order to get the ball back and try and score yourself. But now is the time to start using those timeouts.
And keep in mind, it'll also stop the clock at the 2-minute warning. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. 59 yards rushing now on 8 carries for him so far.
But they didn't accomplish their goal. They didn't get a stop there, gave up another 1st down. They have all 3 timeouts in their pocket. I think defensively, you've got to start thinking about using them here.
I was just going to ask you at what point you think now's the go time?
I think now's the go time. I don't think you sit back and wait because they can take a lot of time off the clock between plays and run 3 to 4 and really put you in a stressful spot.
Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on 1st down. They try to eat some clock with Mixon. And nothing much materializing there on the 1st down run. He'll get a couple, and that's it.
I like a guy who understands the situation. I also like a guy who you look at him and you say, that looks like a guy who knows the coach is going to say, guess what? You drop this one, you'll be carrying around the training facility for an entire week.
Maybe flashback to high school or college, carrying it around campus, right?
The old gauntlet drill, right? Anyone get the ball out while he's sitting in class and bring it back to the coach? He's in big trouble.
Takes to midfield, but no further. Just a yard there.
I'm going to hit you all day, baby.
4th quarter. Down to the final 2 minutes, and we've got a one-score game. So the Bengals in possession of the football here as we get you reset. They're facing a critical third down now as they try to hold on to this lead. And he'll lose yardage here, back at the 47. Now the Bucs going to use the first of their timeouts. That'll leave them with 2 remaining. We'll be back after this. Here's Kevin Huber now as he's on to punt for Cincinnati. This is away, but boy, headed straight for the sidelines. And the punt over the side in the air, and the spot will be inside the 35. So here's Brady and the Bucs, trailing 10-3. A minute 53 remaining. They need a touchdown and the PAT to tie it as they come up 1st and 10. Brady to throw. Over the middle to Evans. A gain of 6 there on first.
Not in a position where they absolutely have to rush right now, but they definitely have to pick up the tempo a bit.
Clock running, about to hit 90 seconds to go in the game. Back to throw, Brady. Goes right side, complete to Gronk. And he almost made it, but just short. Finally out of bounds, right down around the goal line. A big play there on the catch and run. The thing that hurt on that play, the missed tackle, that allowed the extra yardage.
It's a matchup game in the NFL. You get the guy that you want isolated, have him miss a tackle, and off you go.
A looming decision to make on the conversion, down 7, but first things first, they need to score as they come up on 1st and goal. They'll try to punch it in with Fournette. And he's not even able to get back to the line of scrimmage. Now there's also a flag down, and it's in the area of holding. So that time they get the tight end on the hold.
Normally he's a pretty good run blocker, but this time he just didn't get his arms extended and let go quickly enough. The flag came out as a result.
A terrible spot for a holding call as he'll try again, but now from further back on 1st and goal. To throw is Brady. And he's got Gronkowski yet again. A gain of 7 that time, 2nd goal.
They gave up the completion there, but this is what zone defenses count on. Catching the ball and not much run after the catch.
Clock running, the Bucs try to go quickly and get set. Now Brady. This is caught. No gain that time on the completion, and it'll be 3rd down. Not good. They didn't move the football an inch, and precious time ticking off the clock. A lot of tired bodies on that field, but this is a big play, 3rd and goal. And he is across and in for the score. And now they can tie the game in the final stages with the extra point.
Or they can go for 2 and go for the win. And while it appears the heavy lifting was accomplished by scoring the touchdown, they're still down 1. That extra point is not a gimme.
Ryan Suckup on for the point after. And we may very well be headed to overtime. So that drive spanned 5 plays. And the touchdown and PAT mean we are tied here in the final minute of play. level now at 10 apiece as the kick's away. And with time a factor here late, he'll just take a knee, and they'll start things out at the 25.
Cincinnati set to take over once again.
They have a little bit of time here to get into field goal range. Not much. In a tie game, you don't want to do anything crazy, right?
I agree with you on that one. Risk-reward, okay? If you go for it, what is the absolute reward on this? But the risk is probably greater. Run the clock out, get to overtime, and try and win it there.
All right, we'll see if they do just that.
Here's Joe Mixon as they start on the ground. And he's got a first down to the 40-yard line, but the clock runs.
Now the Bengals going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with 13 seconds left to play. So quickly all the way up at the 40-yard line.
Here's Burrow. Connecting with Mixon. And he'll be pulled down, and now a late flag will come with it. And that's in the area of a face mask, I think.
So they'll take the yardage and tack on 15 more for the face mask.
Talk about a play that absolutely costs you in the end. Just trying to do your job, right? Trying to get him on the ground. Next thing you know, they'll march off another 15 against your squad.
So all eyes now locked on Evan McPherson.
And with inside of 10 seconds, 8 to be precise, we get whistles and a timeout on the field.
So all eyes now locked on Evan McPherson.
This from 52, and this for the win. And this one is right down the middle. And it's celebration time on that sideline as they have taken the lead in the final seconds. And you know, in an era of cost-cutting and maximizing your roster, this is a club that does not skimp on special teams, and in these situations, it pays dividends.
And that's great vision by the organization. When the difference between winning or losing depends on who you have kicking the ball, would you rather have a street free agent out there or a solid pro like this? Answer's pretty evident to me.
Here's McPherson now to send it away. This is taken just shy of the 10.
That's it, baby.
Well, this one, partner, was fun down to the very end. They got the points late, right before the whistle. Then the ensuing kick.